Welcome to another edition of Eric's Product Reviews, brought to you by HollywoodPhoto.com. I am Eric, and this is going to be another video in the Galaxy S7 Edge series. Specifically, we're going to talk about the S7 Edge. So you bought this really beautiful Galaxy S7 Edge phone with the most beautiful screen on the smartphone market, as far as I'm concerned. But let's face it, those edges, the way it is designed, it is very susceptible to possibly falling and getting cracked or damaged. So you might want to put a cover on it. But at the same time, why buy such a beautiful phone and then cover up all that beauty with a case? You want a case that looks good and doesn't detract from the look of the phone, most especially the way it looks on the front with the curved edges. So today I'm going to be reviewing 5 different Spigen cases. Now, I have always been a big fan of Spigen. I think they make some of the best cases for any of the popular phones that are out there. They've been making cases for Galaxy phones since forever, it seems like, as well as iPhone and any of the top phones. They make a lot of different cases for. So I have 5 different Spigen cases. I'm going to show you each one of them, show you what they look like on the phone. Several of the ones I have are like the one that's currently on my phone, which are clear, hardly noticeable, and don't take away from the phone at all. In some ways actually help enhance it and make it better, and I'll show you how and why I think that. And then a couple of the other ones are a little bit thicker and also cover up a little bit more, but still sleek, good looking cases that you might want to consider, just depending on your taste and how much protection you want. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking, we're going to hop over and we're going to look at each one of these cases one by one, all 5 cases compared. First case I want to show you is the Liquid Crystal Slim and Soft TPU case. This is a completely flexible case, and I'll show you that in a minute, but I just want to show you the case on the phone. You can see with the phone turned on that it doesn't take away from the look at all. It's a very slim case. It doesn't block using the edges because it curves down. It does have the raised buttons for the power button, and the volume toggle has all the right cutouts that you need. Plenty of space to plug your power in or your headphones in. Doesn't block at all. Doesn't block the camera at all. It's a really thin case. Just a simple TPU case. Doesn't offer a ton of protection, but if you just want minimal protection and you want to be able to see the phone in all of its beauty and glory, then this is a great case. Most people wouldn't even notice that there is a case on it. One thing it does have that is a cool feature on the back here. This back has these tiny little dots on it. You can't even really see them, which I love, but they are there to help prevent fingerprints. The phone itself is a fingerprint magnet on the back because it is glass, but with this case on there you don't get fingerprints like you do with the phone itself by itself. So that's cool. Also, even though this TPU is really thin, it does give you a slight extra border that helps keep, like if you're holding your phone, it keeps your palm from hitting that edge of the screen and triggering stuff. Because if you don't use the case at all, you will do that a lot. And you'll do it sometimes with a case, but not near as much. So that's a cool feature, and it is slightly raised at the top and the bottom, as you can see. So if you lay it flat, your phone actually isn't touching the surface because of the slightly raised top and bottom. So not a ton of protection, but a decent small amount of protection, and a completely clear case that doesn't take away from the phone. So just a simple TPU case. Easy on, easy off, and it looks good because it doesn't block anything on the phone. You can still see the phone in it. You wouldn't even notice that there was a case on here in most cases. Anyway, that is the Slim and Soft Liquid Crystal case. Next up, we have the Tough Armor Air Cushion Technology case. So this is a military grade drop tested case, hence the name Tough Armor. Now this is a black and silver case, so this is going to cover up a good portion of your phone. As you can see, let's turn the power off there, and you'll see on the back. So you're not going to see the color of your phone, whether you've got the gold or the silver, whatever you've got, you're not going to see it except on the front, at the top and the bottom. So this does completely cover your phone. It is a much thicker case, and it is raised not only significantly on the top and the bottom, as you can see, but the edges are really thick. This is definitely a case that will keep you from accidentally touching the edge of your phone, but it doesn't block the edges. You still have access to the edges without any problem at all, but it keeps your hand very far away from the edge when you're just holding your phone. Will definitely make it so that you won't accidentally click it. It does have a good place for the power button there, as well as for the volume control, and you can see it's nice. It's got the little symbols on there as well, and it is a dual layer case in a lot of ways. It has that soft TPU plastic, but then it has a harder plate on the back side. Now, this is not metal. This is a tough plastic case, and you can see it's definitely thicker. You see how thick that is around the camera. It doesn't block the camera or anything. You still have access to all your ports without any problem at all. They make sure that there's plenty of space for all the ports, but it's a tough piece. Now, it does also have this little kickstand, so you can pull that out and you can set your phone up. So that's a cool feature if that's something that you would make use of. And it snaps down in, so when it's in there, it's not in the way at all. It doesn't detract from holding the phone at all. It just melts into the case. So yeah, if you use this case, you are taking away possibly from the look of the phone, because you are completely covering up a lot of it, but it also gives you a lot of protection. Again, military grade. It has air cushion technology in the corners to protect against, that's the worst spot you can ever hit a phone. If phone drops, is for it to hit in the corner. That's what causes all kinds of really bad cracks and breaks. And this phone has this case has an air cushion technology that protects against that. So that's kind of a cool feature of this case. Really cool case, nice case. If you want a thicker case with more protection, this is definitely a good selection for that kind of case. Again, it's the Tough Armor with Air Cushion Technology case. This next case is the Neo Hybrid Crystal case. It has a dual layered structure for extra protection. This is, I would call this semi-clear case, because it is clear on the top and it is clear on the back, so you do get to see your phone through the case. It does have a sort of a silverish border around the outside. So this main part is like a TPU, a tough TPU, and then the outside border on the outside is a stronger hard plastic that goes on the outside of the TPU to give extra protection around the edges and the corners of your phone. It is definitely a thicker case than the liquid crystal slim and soft case that we looked at. This one is much thicker. It has a thicker border on the sides. So it's not a barely there case. The liquid crystal case is like a barely there case. This one is definitely a thicker case. You feel the thickness and difference when you have this on your phone. Definitely is going to keep your hand away from the edges, keep your palm from accidentally touching the edges. It has a raised top as well as a raised bottom, and then the thick edges around there. It does have an anti-fingerprint backing, so that's cool. You won't get the nasty fingerprints all over the back using this case, which is great. And you can see how thick it is there too around the camera and the flash. Again, doesn't impede on anything. Everything is fully functional, but definitely really thick, so you can, when you lay your phone down, your camera is not touching the surface because of this thick case on the back. So really good protection. It does have the buttons here for the volume up and down, as well as the power button here. Easy access for both of those, and it doesn't, of course, impede in general with the look of the phone. It just does add that thicker layer of plastic, so it's going to give you more protection than the liquid crystal, but maybe at the expense of not being quite as thin or as barely there. You definitely are going to know that you have a case on your phone and you put this on your phone. But in exchange for that, you get a little bit extra protection versus what you might get with the liquid crystal case. Anyway, this is the Neo Hybrid Crystal, and again, Neo Hybrid because you've got the dual layer, first the TPU layer, and then this outside harder plastic silver layer around the edge to protect the edge and the corners of the phone. This is another Neo Hybrid case. Same as the Neo Hybrid we looked at before, except different color scheme. This one is not clear on the back. The TPU is black, and then the border is a silver color. So you get the black look on the back. It is a anti-fingerprint backing. It also is very grippy. It has sort of a textured surface. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's a textured surface, so easy to hold, and also no fingerprints, which is nice. Again, you can see it's a thick case, fairly thick, so it offers good protection. It does add a little bit of size to your phone, though, of course. You can see how thick those black borders are on there, and also on the top and the bottom. I turn my phone on again. You can really see it with the phone on because of the design of the edge. You can really see that black border around there. But it does offer good protection for the phone. Again, the ports are, as always with any Spigen case, the ports are perfect. Everything is open and free and unblocked, and full access without any issues. Offers good protection. You've got the plastic rubber TPU inside, and then you've got the harder plastic around the outside for protection. Again, this is black and silver. Might be especially good, you know, depending if you're not too concerned about people seeing the back, or maybe you got that chrome edition of the S7 Edge, which I thought I wanted until I saw it in the store, and I was like, oh my goodness, that is like a mirror. It just reflects light like crazy. A little bit flashier than I wanted. Maybe you didn't see it and you got it home and was like, oh, or you pre-ordered it without seeing it, and you're like, oh my goodness, this thing is way too flashy. So maybe having a case like this to cover up that back and take away some of that flash would be perfect. And this having the black with the silver trim would probably look really good with the chrome colored, as well as possibly the black. But you know, whatever you got, whatever color you want in terms of a case. Spigen does have a lot of different cases and different color schemes, but you know, most of their stuff, they're very subtle, and that's what I like about this. It's a very sleek design. Again, I prefer to be able to see my phone, but if you don't mind not being able to see your phone, you're looking for something a little bit thicker protection, then this might be a good case for you. And it does have that matte finish on the black, so great finish, great look. Neo Hybrid, decent protection, really thick case, so definitely going to offer some good protection for the phone. The last case that we're going to look at is the Ultra Hybrid Air Cushion Technology clear case. And this is another drop-tested military-grade case. It does have air cushion technology built into the corners. I don't know if you can kind of see that little nub there. It's like an extra little layer of air cushion so that if you drop your phone and it hits in that corner, it'll absorb the shock and hopefully keep your phone from cracking into pieces. This is probably one of my favorite cases because, again, I tend to like the clear cases that don't really take away from the look of the phone. But this is a little bit thicker than the slim and soft liquid crystal case that we looked at first of all. It's a little bit thicker than that. It does have a different type of backing. That's why this one's called an Ultra Hybrid. The back on this is a harder backing. The sides are the softer TPU material, and then the back is like a harder TPU plastic. Very sleek look to it. It's not quite as thick as some of the other cases. You can look at the edge there and kind of see how thick it is. It is thinner than a lot of them on the back, but equally as thick on the sides. So the sides are just as thick as any of the other cases, but the back is slightly thinner. Also in the corners, I don't know if you can see that edge right there in the corner. Every corner it's slightly raised up. So where your hand holds around here is not raised up at all, but around the corner it is slightly raised. So even when you sit your phone down, even this back, because this is a plastic back and you don't want it to get scratched, it's not going to be touching the surface because of these slightly just tiny raised corners that lift it up off of the surface of whatever you're sitting it on. That's in addition to the fact that obviously the case is thick, so your camera is not even getting close to touching anything. So that's a really nice feature. It does have the raised buttons for the volume control as well as the power button, which are easy to access and work great without any problem. Again, this is a slightly thicker case than the liquid crystal case, so it is going to definitely keep your palm and your fingers from accidentally touching the edge, but it does add a tiny bit of bulk to your phone, whereas the liquid crystal case is so thin, it really is a barely there kind of case, but it doesn't offer quite as much protection either, whereas this case is a little bit thicker, but because it's clear, it doesn't take away from the look of your phone, and it offers more protection because it is a military grade drop tested case that has the thicker sides and especially the slightly thicker corners with the air cushion in there to make sure that your S7 is protected in case of a drop. So that is the air cushion ultra hybrid clear case. So you can see all of those cases are really good cases. Personally, I lean towards the clear cases because I think that the phone itself that's why you pick the phone you do a lot of times, is for the look of it. And so picking a phone that looks amazing and then covering it up entirely with a case doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I wanted a case that would let the good looks that are built into the phone, the excellent craftsmanship from Samsung on the S7 Edge, let it shine through. But offer some protection as well. So I prefer the clear cases. But hey, everybody has their own thing, and that's why I reviewed all 5 cases. All 5 are really good cases, just depending on what you want, how much protection you want, and what kind of luck you want. So hopefully one of those will work good for you. I do have links in the description below. You can click those links, jump over to Amazon, and pick up one of those cases for yourself. I'm also going to put a link in the description below to all the Spigen S7 Edge cases because I didn't review all of them. I reviewed 5 very different ones, but they also have other ones that I didn't review. You might want to check out those as well. Anyway, that is it for this review. If you like this review, please click that like button. Hop over to my channel, favorite this S7 playlist so you can keep up with S7 tips and tricks and other accessory reviews. Check out my product review playlist. I've got all kinds of products that I've reviewed, a lot of electronics, a lot of gadgets, a lot of smartphone and tablet accessories, so other accessories that you might want to use with your S7, like headphones and speakers and keyboards and just all kinds of stuff. Also an Android app review playlist with only the best Android apps that really increase the functionality of your phone. A lot of those you might want to put on your S7 to make it an even better phone. And if you really want to delve deep, then check out my Tasker tutorials, which will teach you how to automate tasks on your phone using Tasker. Anyway, that is going to be it until next time. Have a great day.